The regular session was, are you okay?
Thank you, very well,
Is that okay?
Yeah, I had to mute Gary because there's some sort of feedback thing happening.
Okay. The regular meeting of January 20th is now in session. Please rise for pledge of allegiance to the flag. The clerk will follow the roll.
President Moore.
Here.
Councilmember Adani.
Here.
Sarwar.
Here.
Foster. Roberts.
Here.
Belton. Here. Lola.
Here.
Cousin.
Here.
Moranti.
Here.
And you can call, with most of the team.
Okay. Jerry Fernhagen.
Here.
Ronnie.
I'm here. I'm just parking. I'll be right in.
And we have a form present.
Warren present, yeah.
Can we have motions to dispense the reading of the minutes for December 16, December 22nd? And place them on file.
I'll move it.
Do you have a motion? Bears and second. Bear down. Any opposed? Okay. Committee department reports. We have received a number of reports from the departments. Now, ordinarily, we would receive those reports for the informal meeting. This month, because of the organizational meeting, we did not have that submission. So we have received a number of reports. Once we've accepted them, I'll come back to that to explain how we're going to proceed. So may I have a motion and second to place the committee reports and departmental reports on file? Siobhan first, second Henry. All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. So going forward with how the reports will work is that the departments will continue to submit their reports to the full council and they will be placed on file. They will do so at the usual time frame, which is the informal meeting. Once we have our 5 committees established, those committees will review those reports, meet with the departments, and discuss any other issues or work that needs to be done within the committee for those particular department groups. But we won't have presentations at the informal from the departments. That will come out of the committee work.
Excuse me, Margaret,
Yes,
there's something up with the log of the data and all the files in, the city website. We're still in 2025.
are you sure you're not cached? Because I had a similar question from Dominic.
Well, I went back and saw last year's and it goes from December 22nd, 2025 to January 12th, 2025 to January 20th.
Everything was there today when I was looking at it.
There, I'm just saying that the date, the year is wrong.
I see.
It says regular meeting January 20. Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's the reports. Communications. We have received communications, I believe all of the communications related to the school club. Those communications have been posted on the city website. So may I have a motion to receive the communications and place them on file, and a second? Motion from Jenny, second from Ferris. With regard to communications, this is just a structural issue. In the past, when we've had communications, they might have things coming in before the informal. And then more might come in between the informal and the formal. So I think it is very difficult for members of the public to know where to look for specific communication. So the structure we are setting up is that if there is a topic that's in the informal that's going to be on the formal, and we are receiving communications for that, there will be a subfolder under the formal meeting, and communications will be placed in that folder, but they'll only be placed in one place, so that people don't have to keep going back and forth. We're also going to organize them by topic. So in this case, we have a subfolder, labeled Sloop Club for the communications, and all of those communications are under there. If there's another topic, then that would be a subfolder for communications relating to that topic. And that way people can go to just one location to look to find communications from the public. Any questions? Okay. So this evening, primarily what we have are some routine resolutions, but also mainly moving of fund transfers in order to pay bills from the end of 2025. And then we also have the bills to pay this evening, but much of our resolutions here this evening relate to bill pay. So our first one is appointing commissioners of deeds. Can you pull up your resolutions, Logan, as we go? May I have an introduction and second for commissioners of deeds? Dr. Duan, introduction, second. Henry, second. We need a roll call vote.
President Moore,
Here, yes, sorry. Here.
Councilmember Haddad. Ryan,
Here.
He started a trend.
Sarah, Foster, Robert, Belton, Volo, Cousin, Moran.
Here, I say aye. Good.
Our next is, we have two resolutions related to the Kansas Hudson Youth. The first is approving the memorandum of understanding with the Friends of Hudson Youth, and attached to that resolution is a copy of the memorandum. So do I have an introduction and second? I'm sorry, I skipped the fire department. Authorizing fire department transfers from for fiscal year 2025. Introduction, we have it, Lola has introduced, Duan second. Roll call,
President Morris,
yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Aye.
Roney.
Aye.
Sarah,
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Roberts,
Aye.
Belton, Volo,
Aye.
Cousin, Moranti,
Aye.
Karen.
So the next two are the two relating to Friends of Hudson Youth. The first is the memorandum of understanding, and attached to that, there's a resolution attached to the actual memorandum. No changes from prior year. So do I have an introduction and second? Claire has introduced, Jenny has second. And we need that, this is for number 3, the memorandum of understanding. Roll call vote,
President Morris,
yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Yes.
Roney.
Aye.
Sarah,
Aye.
Foster,
Yes.
Roberts, Belton, Volo,
Aye.
Cousin, Moranti,
Aye.
Karen.
Next is authorizing the youth department to accept donations from Friends of Hudson Youth. Introduction, Claire and Jenny, and Claire introduced, Jenny second. Roll call vote,
President Morris,
yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Aye.
Roney.
Aye.
Sarah,
Aye.
Foster.
Yeah.
Roberts. Belton. Volo,
Aye.
Cousin. Moranti.
Aye.
Karen.
Our next is authorizing a transfer for street tree planting for fiscal year 2025. This relates to, again, ensuring that we have sufficient funds to pay the 2025 bills, which you will see when we come to the bills. Do I have an introduction? for transfer. We have, Polo introducing, Haddad second. Can we have a roll call vote?
President Morris,
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Aye.
Rooney.
Aye.
Sarwar,
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Roberts,
Aye.
Felton,
Aye.
Vola,
Aye.
Cousins,
Aye.
Moranti.
Aye.
Carried.
So next is the fire department donations part. Accepting, fire department donations, do I have a introduction and second? Do one, introduced and who's second? Henry second. Roll call?
President Morris,
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Yes.
Rooney.
Aye.
Sarwar,
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Roberts,
Aye.
Felton,
Aye.
Vola,
Aye.
Cousins,
Aye.
Moranti.
Aye.
Carried.
Next is again 2025 budget transfers for the common council and historic preservation. Do we have an introduction and second? Haddad introduce, second. And Foster second.
Is there, am I doing my math wrong? Is that not adding up?
Excuse me,
The from and two lines don't. add.
where is this?
This is,
Yeah,
It doesn't have it.
yeah, it does,
from line is 2744. And the two lines is adding up to 2477.
So we need to hold off on this one, I think. Check, Heather is not.
I think it's just some transposition error, like 2744 should be 2477.
Yes.
I am actually here, Margaret.
Heather, can we amend that to 2477?
I would ask if Lyric can Lyric before the end of the meeting potentially confirm the amount that she needs, because this is actually from numbers that she pulled together. I'm sure I made the typo, so that's not on Lyric, but I'm assuming that the first two numbers are correct and then the total from is wrong. That is my belief.
Okay, so we just put this, we won't vote on this just now, we wait, you can check that.
But that's I mean, that's form total is 2744, is that
Yeah, that adds up.
that's the money they need, okay.
2744 is what it is. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Thank you. Next we have, these are, some transfers for Rob Perry. We have transfers for DPW, cemetery, water and sewer transfers. I reviewed all of these with Rob. They are all transfers within their own bucket. So sewer is within sewer, etc. So do I have an introduction and second for those? We have Dewan introducing, second Henry. Roll call vote.
President Morris,
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Aye.
Rooney,
Aye.
Sarwar,
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Roberts.
Aye.
Felton,
Aye.
Vola,
Aye.
Cousins,
Aye.
Moranti.
Aye.
Carried.
Next is a resolution approving the honorary street naming of Wheeler Way. Do I have an introduction? Dominic, I think you were going to introduce.
Yes.
Dominic and Claire second. So this is one of these things where, you know, we want to make sure that everything that comes before the council, that there is someone who can speak to it. And Dominic wanted to speak to this particular resolution. So Dominic, do you want to explain this to us and speak to the resolution before we vote?
Yeah, the resolution says a lot of it. It's some historic of, a father and son. Only time that the father and son was in the mayor, and also that they're in critical parts of our time. One was in the Depression, Fred Wheeler, and Sam actually moved us into this new building. And both were very productive in our community. And I know I had, Sam's son in school, Lance Wheeler. And so, they're very, productive from what I remember and what my family remembers in the community. So I think this is, and I think they're only doing, the even side, which, from Fifth and Sixth, or so, they're.
Yes, it's a stretch of arm.
Right, so, but I think this is, well deserved, and I think that, Mr. Lance Wheeler was gonna come today, but he had a conflict with the board meeting, so, maybe he'll speak at another time, but, I think this is a great honor for the family.
And also, I believe they participated also with the fire department.
Yes, absolutely, yes, absolutely.
Any other comments from the council on this, donation? No?
I've seen Lance, serving the community still and passing on his legacies.
Anyone from the public want to comment? Okay. So I think we can do a roll call vote. Thank you, Dominic.
President Morris,
Yes.
Councilmember Cadell.
Aye.
Roney.
Aye.
Sarah,
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Roberts,
Uh,
Belton. Rolla,
Aye.
Cousin. Moranti,
Right.
Terry.
Our next resolution is, the IDA currently has a community member. The current community member's, term ends in January. I think, Mr. Spaminato may be here, correct? Yes, so this resolution is authorizing, the appointment, as you recall from a couple of years ago, we've done this before, because the council, nominates and authorizes the appointment of the community member to the IDA. So would you like to say a few words?
Sure. I wasn't prepared to speak, but
Okay.
I'd be delighted to join. I think Hudson's at a, really, interesting time in its history. And it'll be, fascinating to be a part of it and to give back. My family's from here, so I know Hudson very well. And, I've spent probably 30 years in sustainability, helping companies, figure out how to develop, grow in a more sustainable way. So I think I've got some experience that's relevant, and I live in Hudson.
And you're from Hudson, you said?
Yeah, I grew up across the street from a bunch of Morantis.
That must have been a rough neighborhood.
It was very rough. Tricky for you to say that. So, yeah, if there's any questions, I'd love to.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for being willing to serve.
Sure.
So can we have an introduction? The second, we have Duan and we have Dominic as the second. Can we have a roll call vote?
President Morris,
Yes.
Councilmember Cadell.
Aye.
Roney,
I look forward to serving with you, Mr. Spampinato. We'll have to,
John.
John's kind of right.
Sarah,
Aye.
Foster.
Yeah.
Roberts. Belton. Rolla,
Aye.
Cousin. Moranti.
Aye.
Terry.
Our next resolution is authorizing an agreement with Tobner, Ryan and Cannery LLP, the firm, for planning board services. And I will explain in a moment. Can I have an introduction and a second? Henry introducing, Jason second. This is to authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with a new law firm to take on Article 7 activity, also Article 78 litigation that we currently have going on, and then ongoing support of the planning board. Any questions?
They're also gonna be the attorney, not just for the lawsuits.
They will be doing, it's the agreement, no, the agreement is not in there. They will be doing the support of the planning board, attending planning board meetings, advising the planning board. Then they are also going to take on the current litigation that the city, that we have litigation ongoing that they will assume responsibility for. And then Article 7s are relating to assessment issues. We've had different attorneys doing these different activities. And so this company will take on all of those activities.
I have a question, Margaret.
Yeah.
I mean, why are we changing? But
That's
Just
really
keep track.
not anything I know anything about.
Is this the mayor that's,
This is, yes, this is, the mayor, brought this to us to approve his entering into this agreement. I am not privy to the discussions as to the appointment of planning board.
One of the current Article 78,
Sorry, can you speak up?
one of the current Article 78 is,
Mill Street.
and isn't that kind of a conflict? While
So currently, in last year, the, city determined that, Ms. Polidoro, who was the attorney for the planning board, would represent the city in that particular litigation because the planning board was one of the named parties. And so this individual or this company taking on planning board will then also be taking on the lead in that litigation. That doesn't change at all from what it was before. Any other questions? Okay. Value board ready for roll call?
President Morris,
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Aye.
Roney,
I'm going to abstain because I feel like I don't have any context. I mean, the mayor is empowered to make this decision, but. it'd be-
So what, based on our, rules of order,
Right.
abstention requires that you specify what additional information it is that you need in order to make a decision.
Sure, that was the second part of my statement. is
Okay.
that, context regarding why it was changed,
Okay,
why the.
I also have a question about point of order. If there's more than one council person that needs more information, during a vote, can we make a motion to just table?
you can make a motion to table if you wish,
Three people, right?
but you'll have to have a majority in favor of tabling.
I'd make a motion to table.
Do I have a
Second.
second? We have a second? Can we take a roll call on tabling? So the motion is, to table, this vote.
I'm sorry, what more information are we looking for?
I mean, I understand the mayor can enter into an agreement with the new law firm. I just wish there was some more contact provided, whether in the resolution or someone was here to answer questions as to why it's changed.
A little bit more information we need,
Or even if it was a communication sent out ahead of time, this is why we're changing.
this was the last.
Yeah.
So, yes, this was handed, this is what came today. We can take a vote to table. I will not be voting to table this. And,
Fair.
ordinarily, we do not discuss personnel issues in open session.
Sure.
So, we do not have anyone present. There's not much point in going into executive session because there's no one here right now who can speak to the questions that you have.
Yeah.
Another question. But per your rule of order, like if we wanted to request the mayor give a presentation on this or something similar, that would be sufficient, right?
Where the current motion on the table is to table this, but that's all we're
I'm
discussing.
just asking if that could be another step to get.
That is not what's on the table right now. What's on the table is voting to table.
Great.
Voting on this resolution.
before we voted, is there a time limit for this or no?
Yeah, yes, there is. The reason this came today is, to make sure that there is legal counsel available for the planning board at their meeting in February.
I got you.
That is the reason why I was asked to put it on the agenda. too.
And their meeting in February is before our next meeting.
Yes, it is.
Right, so say they wouldn't be able to do basically any business
With the, yeah.
in
before
February's meeting, right?
I'm not sure that's true. It's an advisor. They don't always need it.
Well,
We don't always need it.
Well, usually the attorney provides our resolutions and everything that are voted on, right? And during the planning board, so I mean, they could do business like that regard, but no movement in resolutions, no past business can go forward without an attorney, right?
I believe that is correct.
I think, is, the planning board did not have an attorney for any measure.
Excuse me?
I believe that the planning board operated without an attorney for me.
The meetings I have been to, there's always been an attorney present. Are you talking about years ago?
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's absolute, as Dominic said, that if nothing could go forward, I'm not sure it's.
Or if they need a legal, advice and before the meeting, then I think they do need it.
So can we have, we have an
Yeah.
introduction and a second to table this.
Yeah.
So can we take a vote?
Yeah.
Can anyone change the lawyer later on?
I'm sorry?
Can they change the lawyer later on in the year? This goes through so that they have at least the lawyer present during their planning board meeting.
I can't speak to that.
There's probably a contract, so it probably could be a contract.
And it applies for both. It's not only the. It's the, for the law. Has this council ever been,
We have not
have we
voted.
heard about the lawsuit? Have
We, that's an executive session discussion and we're not going to have that in open.
I'm not asking more, I'm not asking for the details, I'm asking whether we've been.
We have,
Yes.
we have received confidential communication from our legal counsel regarding the lawsuit. Yes.
That's what I'm doing.
Sorry, say that again, Margaret, please.
Excuse me?
Say the last
I
sentence.
said we have received, written communication from privileged communication from our attorney relating to the Article 78 lawsuit. So can we have a vote, please?
Yep.
And the vote is, to table or not to table. If you do not wish to table it, the vote is no. If you wish to table it, the vote is yes.
President Morris,
No.
Councilmember Haddad,
No.
Ronnie,
Yes.
Sarah. Sarah,
No.
Foster,
No,
Roberts,
No.
Felton,
Yes.
Lola,
No.
Cousin,
Yes,
Moranti,
No.
no,
So the motion does not carry. So therefore, we are not going to table this. And we are now going to take a vote on authorizing an agreement, authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Taverner, Ryan and Senator.
for that, I was at Ronnie, we said abstain, I was just,
Right,
gotcha,
okay,
just move
you're,
your,
okay.
Sarah,
Aye.
Foster,
yes,
Roberts,
Yes.
Felton,
I under this year.
I'm sorry,
I.
Lola,
Aye.
Cousin,
I'll vote yes.
Moranti,
Aye.
Terry,
I do have a question though. Is this where we would ask to have, could the mayor present to us about what the reason for the change was?
I can reach out to the mayor's office and get that information.
That'd be helpful, thank you.
Yes,
I don't,
I'll get.
Yeah.
We will go into executive session and we can have a discussion at a future time so that you can understand that.
That'd be helpful.
Excuse me? You were. Yeah. Sure you can vote.
Get yours out. Open it without it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next is, list of bills. Before we go into that, I do want to make, an observation. Sorry,
you wanna go back to this resolution?
oh, yes,
It is correct, it's just transposed.
2724. Okay, so we're going back to, number 7, which was the budget transfer for historic preservation and common council. Did we have an introduction?
Yep, and a second.
Okay, so we just need a roll call vote on this.
And can I change this?
Yes. So it is now 27:44,
24/7.
24:77. Thank you, Ronnie, for catching that.
President Morris,
Yes.
Councilmember Haddad,
Aye.
Roney.
Aye.
Farber,
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Roberts,
Aye.
Felton,
Aye.
Bola,
Aye.
President,
Aye.
Moranti.
Aye.
Carried.
So before we go into looking at the bills, answering any questions on those, I just want to make two observations. As you know, I did amend the, rule of order based upon the feedback to put back in that language around, the fact that we can have someone removed if they continue to be disrupted after a warning. I put that in. But there is a rule in, rule number 12 basically says that anything that's not covered is covered by, the Robert's rules. I just want us all to remember that we speak after we are recognized. We don't speak over each other. One person speaks at a time. That's not specified, but that is kind of standard practice. The other thing, we should have our discussions, again, this evening, very straightforward for the most part. We should have our discussions before the vote. Ideally, we would all vote simultaneously. We can't do that. But all discussion should really occur before the vote. And then at the time of the vote, it is simply a vote.
Yeah.
Unless you are, if you are recusing, you would say so before the discussion occurs and you would not take part in the discussion. In the example that we just had, Ronnie wanted to abstain. So therefore, at that point, he made a statement as to why he's abstaining. So other than that kind of commentary, when we are voting, we are voting, and we're not debating any further at the time of the vote. Okay? Yep.
During that time, can we like have going to executive session, like timely? If
There are, the rules for executive session are laid out in the rules of order.
Mhm.
There are only specific things that qualify for executive session. They're itemized in, rule number, where is it? So for example, issues relating to litigation, issues relating to, it's number 10. There's a series of, circumstances in which executive session is appropriate.
For the situation.
Right, yeah, it's very specific. You cannot go into executive session unless it meets one of these criteria.
Sometimes things are moving quickly with the motions and the seconds and just procedure for a pause to allow some comments, or sometimes what's going so quick.
Well, this evening is a little unusual in that we have very routine things here, transfers that we are making in order that we can pay the bills for 2025. Usually, once we have had the motion and the second, we stop and ask for comments. But there's really not a whole lot to comment on in.
This one surprised us.
Excuse me?
This one surprised us because it did.
Yes, well, it came in a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, but
Right, we have to rush.
the process of tonight.
Right. Okay, so we have the bills. Do we have questions on the bills? Let me pull that up. Anyone got any questions on the bills? Yes. Jen.
Go,
Sorry?
go.
It's our website provider.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, general code, what is that?
Yes, that is, something that we actually probably need to talk about in the future. This is, monies that we pay whenever we make any updates to our code. At the moment, there's a company that verifies, does the updates. They do hard copy pieces, they give it to the clerk's office has to maintain the code books. And something going forward that we would like to talk about is moving this to a more electronic process where we might only have 2 physical code books in City Hall. And then perhaps reduce some of the cost and labor involved in doing this. But that's any time we make any change to the code, it has to go through code verification. Are there any other questions on any of the bills? Okay, I do want to point out one, which I did discuss, I had questions on, that I discussed with Michelle Tulo earlier today. And that is the Azavar Technologies. That is, those of you who are on the council
Yeah.
prior, will recall that, we have a contract with a company that does the collection of the taxes for short-term rentals and the registration. And they also provide Michelle with a monthly report on, current registered, short-term rentals. And she goes through and then identifies any that are, advertising but are not registered. I think at some point in the future, the New York State database, which New York State passed a law about 2 years ago, and they were developing a database. So I think I want to follow up with Michelle on the specifics of getting access to that. However, a portion of this bill relates to the software that they use to register and to collect the taxes. So about half of it actually is part of that process, and that is actually quite cost effective compared to other companies. It's a quarterly bill, it's currently around 1,400 every quarter, so that's actually a reasonable thing. So even if we switch to using the New York State database, and there are potentially some challenges to that, we would still need to have a company to do the registration and collection of tax. So that, I just wanted to mention that because we had talked about that about a year and a half ago, when Michelle was going to that company. If there are no other questions on the bills? No? Okay. So, let's see. Did we get an introduction of the bill? Yeah. So we need an introduction and a second on paying the bills. Introduction, go on introduction, second. Rich, second. So now we just need roll call vote on things.
President Lawrence,
Yes,
Councilmember Haddad,
I believe I need to abstain because I wasn't on the council when all these bills were paid, and just to respect to the sitting members, this was your. I don't know what these are for. So,
That's fair.
thank you.
you can look at all the.
You can have all.
Yeah, I know what they're for, but I feel I wasn't,
That's fair.
the calendar year, I
Yeah.
wasn't making any decisions, so I don't,
Hey, theoretically, it's all budgeted.
yeah. Just,
Fine.
Ronan,
Aye.
Sarwar,
all right.
Foster,
Yeah. Sorry, I mean.
No, it's fine, it's done, yeah.
Roberts,
Aye.
Felton,
Aye.
Bola, Cousin,
Aye.
Moranti.
Aye.
Carol.
And I will say with regard to the invoices. So, last week, everything was put together, everything was posted.
Yep.
The bill information was all posted. Is it record for us to actually have everything posted 2 days before the meeting? And I would encourage you, because I've had questions about bills.
Oh, no, I don't have any questions.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is, because I've done this myself, when I'm looking at something, yes, I can say, oh, yes, WB Mason, that was for supplies, well,
Absolutely.
right, and then not supplies, exactly. So just be aware that the actual invoices are always available for review, so that in the days prior to the meeting, you can go to the clerk's office and you can say, I'd like to see the Rise and Run permaculture invoice. And that's it, and it's worth doing.
I am familiar
Yeah.
with the majority of the names
Yeah.
on that list,
Yeah.
but,
I know from your prior.
because since I hadn't
Yeah.
taken my oath until January 3rd, and all this work happened in November, December, I just want to.
No, that's, I think that's fine. I just am saying to the council as a whole,
Yeah,
do not be afraid or shy about going to the clerk's office and saying, I would like to look at the invoice for X. Because that's part of our job here, is to monitor and be sure of how city money is being spent. So just be aware that it's all there and you can always look at it.
thank you.
Okay. So now I'm going to see if there is any public comment before we go to new business.
Ronald has his hand up.
Dickie?
Yeah.
Yes, we're just going into public comment. So Ronald, do you want to speak?
Yes, thank you. On the question of new council for the planning board, I don't necessarily have any objection to the the hiring of new counsel, but I do sympathize with council members who wanted to know more of the context. For example, the qualifications of the firm which is now being hired to represent the planning board. It's not the responsibility of the council to post information about actions by the mayor's office online. Just generally, I would like to see more information on the city website about the appointments that the new administration is making, particularly in the case of the legal team. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other hands on one? Is there anyone in the room with public comment? Okay. Do we have any new business from the council?
I do actually have something I want to bring up. I have a constituent who reached out to me last year regarding the audio quality in this room. Perfect example. I have a constituent from the second ward who reached out that they were not able to find any space in the chambers during a packed session. And they complained that the online audio quality is very lacking. And I had promised them that this year I will personally look into getting better audio quality. So is it your preference that we do an ad hoc committee, or is it, out? It's honestly, now that we have an ADA coordinator, I think it falls under the purview of their office. That's something that they could look into. I could help them. The constituent also offered to help them. I can forward the letter to everyone. I think it is worth noting that. Yeah, I think it's an important thing. There's enough technology out there. I think it serves our constituents and the job that we're doing to have better audio. We're sometimes online, and it's difficult to, make out the discussion. And I think it's just something that we should look into.
Even audio in this room itself too.
Yeah, they can't hear that.
Just there in the back.
Yeah, like for stenographer, is that the right word? Whoever's taking the notes. It's easier for them, and if there's a better audio quality, if they're have to review it. I think there's a lot of benefit to investing in that. But
So you want to
I can.
do an ad hoc committee?
I don't necessarily want to do an ad hoc committee. I don't think it needs to be an ad hoc committee, especially if we have an ADA coordinator or somebody that's filling that role. I think I will. Just wanted to make it aware, but if anybody else wants to do another committee, I don't think it needs a
I think it
committee.
needs a committee.
I don't think so.
I think we just need better.
Yeah, we can just have,
Well, also on our website, we have an accommodation, for 2 weeks. If anyone needs an accommodation, like if that person needs an accommodation to sit in the front row during a meeting, then she can contact us and we can reserve a spot for her.
I feel like,
I'm just saying that's.
yeah,
an
that's an, I
Right,
appreciate
that's an
that.
accommodation option for the intern, until we can figure out the
Right.
logistics of the sound quality.
I also suggested the same, but the sound quality is very lacking. It's, I think.
Oh, I listen, it's the room and everything,
I
yeah.
think that is a good point for somebody who is attending. But there are people who attend and want to attend remotely, and
Yeah.
I know myself, it is very, very difficult to hear what's going on.
No, and the acoustics of the room is not convenient for any kind of transferring of sound because of the walls and everything. And, our sound bounces, plus we're using, the technology of different, ideally, we should be somehow mic'd somewhere.
Yeah.
And it can be inexpensive to get wireless mics and, especially during meetings that are big, right? We can set up a speaker, somewhere. I mean, there is a sound reinforcement that we can do, but at least in the interim, there is an accommodation we could provide until we can figure out the sound situation.
I do want to bring up, I understand that we now have responses, I think, from everybody, because I got some correctly. So, I'm gathering this right into the committees. I should have by this evening, the full grid of your, selections. I'll be reaching out to you one-on-one over the next few days. I just need to log everything and see that if possible, everybody gets a perfect choice. So once we get those committees identified, the committees will elect their own chair. And you will need to work together to identify when you are going to meet. If you have overlapping membership, it may make sense to, sorry,
Well, that's our ADA coordinator.
it may make sense to do back to back. So that would be up to the committees to go forward, but I should have that information in the next day or so, and I'll be reaching out to everybody. As I said at the beginning, we've now gotten reports in for this month, which ordinarily go to the informal, so in your first meeting with the departments, you will be looking at the reports that were submitted and reviewing and discussing anything. I know you can't hear this, but I can because it's in my hearing.
No, but I think that's our ADA coordinator. That's who I see on the screen. Maybe they want to.
No, this is not. So I will be reaching out to you in your first committee meetings, then please review the reports that we received, meet with your departments, and by February, we'll be up and running.
So the chair meets with the department heads to set up the agenda?
No, the committee's gonna meet, and then on a monthly basis, the department heads will report to the committee. So instead of police department, for example, and fire department coming in here to an informal, they will meet with the safety committee, and they will do their presentation, both of their reports and any issues that are going on to that committee. And the committees will be establishing their agenda for the year, what they want to work on. Not some of which will not necessarily be in the reports. So you may want to talk about crosswalk safety. You may want to bring up the e-bike safety. Things like that in the safety committee, which would not necessarily be part of a report from the police department, unless there was an incident. We would hear about it. But yeah, that's how that will work. The departments will report to the committees. Any other questions on that?
Yeah, when we're gonna have a meeting, so we're gonna have an agenda or not just?
Well, that's going to be up to the committee's chairs will set their agendas. And, you know, I can sit down and meet with each committee and review what you want to do, but I think, you know, we're trying to put people in committees, addressing issues that are priorities for them. And so I'd like to see the committee shaping what it is they want to work on.
Also a question that public come in that, the meeting, right? And if they have any complaint or anything, so they could
They
talk
can come to
about
that
it.
meeting, correct, because this will all be subject to open meeting law.
Yeah.
Our
Right,
meetings will be public.
okay.
Any other new business?
Just
Okay.
real quick, Margaret. So in the committees though, is Logan gonna be providing the,
Oh, yeah.
the,
Or, yes, yeah, subcommittees of the common council.
okay, gotcha, thank you.
It's up to that, we're happy to do it.
Yeah.
As well as Linda taking minutes.
Yes, and yes, Linda has done committee minutes for the last couple of years, so she will continue to do that. And, you know, these are going to be, the informal can go on for 2 or 3 hours.
Mhm.
We're simply breaking it up for it to be more efficient. And we may very well have code and DPW back to back with safety on the same evening, or you may choose to have a committee meeting prior to this meeting. So finance, for example, has always met before
Before the.
one of our meetings. So there are ways to do this so that we are efficient in the use of time. Any other questions, comments?
Yeah, just a point of clarification. Now that we're breaking up some of the chunk of time that's dedicated for the informal, for the presentation, what is the main order of businesses that are gonna be discussed?
The main order is that everything that comes before the formal needs to go to the informal.
And
So
discussed?
that everything can be discussed appropriately and given enough time.
Okay.
So for example, the resolution that we just had.
Yeah.
If that had come to an informal a week before this meeting, questions have been raised, there would be sufficient time to get information and then we can vote.
That's fair.
And I really want to try and keep to ensuring that what we are going to vote on in the formal meeting is presented at the informal and appropriately discussed so that we are making informed decisions when we come into it.
And, I mean, I think that's kind of how larger municipalities where there's so many business, you reserve the formal just for the voting. There's almost no commentary.
By then you should have sufficient information.
Right, I mean, yeah, okay.
Any other comments or questions? We have a question here.
If I may, Board of concern, and Jason, you have a copy, and Lola gave you a copy. And, you know, I think it does concern the common council and I would have waited for a committee meeting, but there might be some urgency. So that's why I'm,
What is this a reference to?
so, well, it's the library, and everybody kind of knows my feelings with the library. And I've been pursuing, you know, going to their meetings. And my particular concern is that they're not following the open meeting law. And they're not recording accurately in their minutes, public comments about their financial, you know, status in that they have an excess of $118,000 this year in personnel. And my particular reason is, I mean, after I said, probably everyone knows, I've been looking for them to modify their policy. And I'm kind of like, you know, going to their meetings and not getting good results in terms of my wishes that they were at 9 o'clock. So, but they're not in their own minutes
What,
putting forth, well, Jason, and I'm only mentioning this, if the council could look at this.
It's not, I
What is
didn't
the
check,
ask?
but I do not believe that it's in our purview.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a fiduciary responsibility, seeing as it's $400,000 that goes to this body. And I would, I mean, we're short $400,000. And that's what the taxes are going up to make up. So I would hope and expect that a board that is receiving public funds would adhere to the open meeting laws and accurately reflect. It's been, if you actually look at what happened, was kind of, dare I say, gross in terms of their treatment and uncalled for and not in abiding with the, you know, good public spirit. So I'm just saying,
Thanks for raising your
it's a
concern.
fiduciary responsibility of this council, and that's where the only reason I would mention it to this council.
Okay, thank you for that comment. Any other public comments? Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn? We have done it. We have a second, we have, Dawn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yes. Oh, man. Good meeting.